plastic, and it does feel cheap and slippery in the hand. Definitely doesn't give off any sort of premium feel about it. Now the display, like I mentioned, is a 720p IPS panel that looks pretty good. It has a pretty decent color balance and color reproduction. I mean, the whites are white, and I don't see any visible yellowing to them. And colors aren't overly saturated or vibrant, which may be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you actually plan on using the device. The display isn't very bright, unfortunately, and the blacks just are naturally not going to be as deep as an AMOLED display panel since this is an IPS LCD display. Really, the star of the show and the reason why you should purchase this device is because of the Snapdragon 615 processor and the Android 5.0 Lollipop software. The ZTE BLADES6 has the new 615 octa-core 64-bit Snapdragon processor installed with 2GB of RAM, and it does a great job opening and closing applications. I mean, multitasking is an absolute blast and joy to use, and it's pretty seamless. I rarely noticed any sort of stuttering or lag at all. I mean, the only lag I did notice was due to the data speed and not the processing speed. And Android 5.0 Lollipop looks and runs beautifully on this device, as it should. The material design UI elements are all present here with the card-based overview tabs and the slide down notification panel. The only thing it's missing is the app drawer, which is non-existent here since ZTE decided it wasn't needed. This means all of your apps will be placed on the home screens, which I personally don't like because I can't really organize my home screens very well. ZTE also opted in for square icons, which are okay visually, but they do create inconsistencies with the standard Google apps, which do not have this squarish design. So I don't really like these two design choices ZTE did, but I really admire them for making the BLADES6 run a pretty much near stock Android software experience. The BLADES6 also comes with a 13 megapixel camera sensor. If we were to judge the camera based only by its megapixel count, it would be right up there with the LG G3, the Nexus 6, the Moto X, and several other flagship devices. But in terms of image quality, it's certainly capable of capturing good images, but I wouldn't really compare it to some of the flagship smartphone camera sensors out there. There's not a ton of detail in the images I captured. I mean, some close-up images I captured were more detailed than others, when they should all be detailed theoretically. And there were some overexposure problems when I captured images in direct sunlight, but I think for the price of this device, it's a great camera, definitely better than the 8 megapixel camera sensors found on many other budget devices. As for the battery, ZTE equipped the BLADES6 with a 2400 mAh non-removable battery that gets the job done with little overtime. It's an adequate battery that will give you adequate battery life. I would use this device on and off throughout the day, and it lasted me pretty much throughout the entire day on a single charge, giving me about 4 hours or so of screen on time. The standby time isn't the best, as the battery life would drop several percentage points over a few hours when not in use. You'll probably need to charge this device every night, but it should get you through a full day on a single charge with average usage. So overall, for what you get, the ZTE BLADES6 is a great deal. For $250 off contract, you get the latest version of Android 5.0 Lollipop and the new 64-bit Snapdragon 615 processor with 2GB of RAM, a solid display, and a good camera and pretty decent battery life. I think the biggest turnoff is the design and how unoriginal it is. I mean, not only do they blatantly copy Apple, but they use cheap build materials as well. If you don't care too much about the design though, and care more about the internals, which is what ZTE is hoping for, this may be the perfect device for you. So with that said, that is my review of the ZTE BLADES6. Let me know what your thoughts are of this device. Do you guys care if the design is basically a ripoff of the Apple iPhone 6, or does it not bother you? Let me know what your thoughts are by leaving me a comment down below. As always, I'm BoHD. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.